Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much. And maybe if I was on the right camera, we could send the commands. There we go. Hey, good morning, folks. AJ, the CEO here. Hopefully, y'all are all doing well. We are fresh back from Hershey Park, where I was there earlier this week. Daddy-daughter vacation time. So that was good. Let me unmute for a second. Sounds like I'm not loud. I mean, I'm talking at the top of my lungs. Let me know if it's not loud enough for y'all. I'm gonna crank it up just a little bit more. Anyway, I hope y'all are all doing fine. I am looking at my security camera because I'm actually waiting for a package that I have to sign for. So I got that over here. But I hope y'all are all doing well. I took some vacations, but I mean, vacation doesn't exist. We pretty much just keep rolling nonstop. On the way up to Pennsylvania, we stopped at a church in New Jersey, which we're turning right back around after this is done, waiting for some packages to be done. And then we are heading back up there because pretty much they had an issue and they reached out to me and we helped them out some other stuff. And we have a custom system right here behind me that we built for them. And I moved back to the PTZ camera just because I was having a few issues with the micro cinema camera. That's why I haven't seen a review. But this is the same typical build that I've done before. This is actually a 5700G because I guess they're running out of 5600Gs. And we're running with three, if you can see right there, three Decklink mini monitor HDs. This is going to give us three unique outputs for their two digital walls, their stage display, and the HDMI out that's up there on the motherboard on the back right there. That is going to be a feed that's going to go to a brand new ATEM Mini Extreme. That is what I'm waiting for to be delivered today. Ordered it next day. Supposed to be here by 11 o'clock. We're going to go there, set that up for them. I'm going to be back with them on Sunday. They asked me if I would play because their organist is not going to be there. So we'll be training and playing on the organ at the same time. This is Word and Worship Church in New Jersey. The city is escaping me right now. That's what we got going on this weekend. And a bunch of other cool stuff. So anyway, let's holler at some folks. Amy, good morning. Mr. Clarence, hello, hello. Anthony, hello. Monty, what is going on with you, sir? Eric, hello, hello. Tamara Brown, hello. Rhonda, hello, hello. Cal L08, hello, hello. Engineering Made Easy, perfect afternoon to you. Anthony, what's going on? TT, hello, hello. Brian Jones, hello, sir. Jeremy, hello. O'Neill, hello, hello. Francisco, how you doing, sir? Coach, how are you doing? Simon Lee Sachs, hello, hello. You said it's loud. Okay. All right. Maybe it's just I had my headphones down. When I turned the volume up on the computer, it seemed like it was soft. Michael, hello. Ryan, hello. Lady Deborah, hello, hello. And this is a person I'm about ready to go visit here in a little bit. How can I say? Anyway, it's my sister. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Your niece is beyond ready. Make sure you cook some stuff. You know what? I'm gonna put my sister on blast right now. She actually does a bakery stuff, and I am trying to tell her that people would be so interested if she started a YouTube channel so that they can see how she makes all of her cake pops, cakes, and all this other stuff. So please go ahead and tag her and say, "Do it, Kathy, do it. I think you should listen to your brother, Kathy. You should start a YouTube channel." I know she's gonna love that. Folks, real quick, if I don't get to your comments, know that you can email me at ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. I need to update this picture because we have updated our giveaway based on our last week. And because this is now, this is episode 172. We've been doing this 172 times. Isn't that interesting? But anyway, we updated our giveaway based on our last live stream. So we are not just doing a $1,000 live streaming bundle giveaway when we hit 70,000 subscribers, all the way up to 250,000 subscribers. We're going to alternate. So the next giveaway is not going to be a $2,000 live streaming bundle. It is going to be two $1,000 live streaming bundles. And let me go to the website here because I haven't updated this, but I do have all the information on here. And we've made some changes to cameras, I have my two ATEMs connected together, so it gives me more inputs. But anyway, so for every 10,000 subscribers, we're giving away a $2,000 live streaming bundle and two $1,000 bundles. So it all depends. And sometimes these ads get in the way. So coming in here, the $2,000 live streaming bundle includes a ATEM Mini Extreme, a PTZ joystick, a 20x PTZ camera, and a PoE switch. But the two $1,000 live streaming bundles include the Mini Ryzen 5 PC that we talked about in our $1,000 bundle, a 20x NDI PTZ camera, brand changes depending on availability, a 24-inch monitor, 75-foot fiber optic HDMI cable, and Ethernet cable. And actually, I didn't include this. It does have a PoE switch in here, a small PoE switch in here, keyboard and mouse. So you'll have a full setup here. So we're going to give away two of them. So that totals $1,000. We're giving away two of them, or one $2,000 bundle. We'll alternate. You never know what we're going to do. That's just our way of giving back. And actually, let me come back over here because we're going back to our presentation. Boom. Because, folks, July 13th is coming up soon. It's the first day of our eMissionary Conference. Really excited about that. I threw together a very, very tacky, flyer. We're going to be working on a more professional looking one, but we want you to be there, folks. I'm really excited about all of that. We got, actually, let me see. Can I show you the little, I'm not logged in here. Hold on. Like I said, my whole layout is a little bit different, so I don't have access to everything like I most normally would. Let me actually just bring the images in here. I think they will work. So give me a half a second, folks, to bring all of these in here. Boom. There we go. So it's not the layout like I normally would, but we got our speakers here. We got Monty's on here, Rob Wilson, Rosalind and Francisco, the husband and wife combo. We got Bruce, Brian, who is on here. Both of them are going to be teaching. He's on here as G. Albert, but Albert Edwards, he's going to be teaching about NDI. Josh, the man, the myth, the legend, he's back with social media management and photography. We got Dominic teaching on presenter worship tools. Augustine Cruz is teaching on making sermon shorts and clips. We got Chris Giles talking about audio engineering in the modern church. I am teaching the anatomy of a church live stream. I'm probably going to be teaching some other stuff, but I don't know. Mainly, I want to highlight everybody else. Let me go back. Monty is going to be teaching about Ecamm Live basics for Mac users. Rob is going to be teaching about casting the nets on the other side. Rosalind is actually teaching the biblical importance of media. Francisco is teaching on media ministry volunteers to expectation. Bruce is teaching on documenting your media ministry. Brian is teaching on choosing the best tech for you. And like I think I mentioned everybody else. We do have some other folks. I don't have their pictures yet, but we also have Mario. He is from Shure. The microphone makers and all this other stuff. He's actually going to be teaching on audio and content best practices using Shure equipment. We also have Mike. I haven't seen him on here yet. From Canada, he's going to be talking about using Bit Companion with OBS and other platforms like that. Dr. Ayano is teaching about AI and media for churches. We also have Ramon is teaching websites and SEO. He is a partner with Augustine. We got David. He is teaching church digital marketing and advertising. And we got a couple of other teachers I'm waiting to hear back from. We got about 7 more. We have a line up of stuff there. And I keep cutting over so fast because I want to highlight all of the stuff we do have. If I cut back over here, that is input number 2, number 1. There it goes. So if you come over here to MediaMinistryMentor.com and click on here over to conference. Now you missed, if you haven't registered, you missed the ticket change. It's up to $100 now. But if you go here, there are all the teachers, here are our sessions, all this other fun stuff. We're still looking for teachers. We still got plenty of time because we're doing 2 sessions, July 13th and August 10th. Some people are going to be teaching the same stuff again on a different day. We might have some more teachers that are not available on the first day and want to show up for the other one. We are open for anyone who would like to teach, folks. All you got to do is come here, click on, enter your information. Tickets right now are $100. We cut off everything on last Saturday. It was a 25% discount, but now everything is at $100. You don't want to miss it. All this stuff we're going to upload to YouTube 8 months later. So if you're in the class, you're going to get an 8-month jump ahead of everybody else who did not attend the conference. And what button are we on? There we go. What other little things? If you ever liked any of the merch we got, folks, we do everything on emissionarygear.com. We would like to get your team pictures too. You want to shout out your media team, email me at questions@ajhomes.com, make the subject my media team, get a picture, your name, your ministry, and all this other stuff. We want to highlight everybody. And another big thank you for everyone who's still buying my second book, Modern Media Ministry is Now Necessary, available on Amazon, QR code, all this other stuff. If you want to get an autograph when I still got some here, you can go to AJaytheCEO.com. You fill it out there. I will autograph it and mail it to you. But they are available on Amazon, Kindle, paperback, and hardcover copies. So I think that is it. Know if you got some questions, folks, put a Q in front of it so that it jumps out so I can see it very easily. And if you have any, I think I already did the email. But if you need some more time, folks, more than going back and forth with 4 emails, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and go to ajhomes.com/consultation, set up a consultation with me, and we do Zoom, phone, in person. We do travel, folks. Like I said, we're going to New Jersey. We just came back from Pennsylvania. We're going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana again next month. All this other stuff. Golden, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. What else? Oh, yeah, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. Answer the 3 questions. You will end like Flynn. Do not live stream inside the group. Do not try and sell your products on the group without running it past administrators. And pretty much you're not going to be able to sell any stuff on there at all. It's meant to help other media ministries. And I'm just assuming everybody in the group is saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost and all this other stuff. So don't post your daggone sermon there. We don't need that. It's about improving your stuff, folks. You do that, you will get Mjolnir and get kicked out of the group very, very fast. Anyway, I think that's enough blabbing. My package hasn't came yet, so I'm still going to be eyeballing that. But anyway, I am ready for your questions, folks. Anthony, I'm going to start some of this, but I'm going to need some more information from you to properly answer this. How can we get started? We have a camera. I'm assuming what you're saying is, how do we get started live streaming and we have a camera? We are not sure if we need a computer trying to stream services. Any help is appreciated. Well, first, if you only have a camera, yes, you're going to need a computer, but that all depends on the type of camera that you got. Do you have a camcorder? Are you using a phone? Are you using a tablet? Are you using a DSLR, which I'm honestly personally against because they don't last very long. They'll overheat, and their DSLRs are not meant for live streaming with video for long term. But I would honestly say check out the $1,000 video that I did on how to get started. That will go over everything I personally would recommend getting started with on your live stream. If we cut over here and we go to our videos and we go to this one, everything you need to live stream for $1,000, the 2024 edition, this goes over everything. I've done this every single year, and just tech has gotten better, and it just shows you what you can use to get started. So just in short, what do you need? The mini PC. This is all the stuff I told you we're giving away at our $1,000. Our 2 $1,000 giveaways is a mini PC, a PTZ, a PoE switch, HDMI cable, Ethernet cable, keyboard, mouse, monitor, and audio cables. This is what you would need at bare minimum. Now, I actually have that system running right now. That is actually what's doing the graphics that you see that are going on behind it. That's actually the Ryzen 5 mini PC just doing actually running Presenter. That's what's doing the background that you see. So yes, I'm running Pro Presenter and presenter all at the same time. But that's what you need to get started. That is the cheapest, best way to get started. That whole setup I'm actually installing at a church next week, actually Monday. So that video, the $1,000 one, the video I'm doing Monday is going to be a follow-up, an actual implementation of that equipment. So be on the lookout for that. But let me know. I need some more details on what exactly you got, what type of camera, so we can actually make something more detailed. But that video actually covers a lot of that stuff. Jeremy here, ProPresenter. Does anyone else experience audio inputs into ProPresenter freezing, requiring a hard reset of the program? Renewed vision support suggested I update the drivers. A couple of things. You said if you're getting audio inputs. Now, are you running on Windows? I'm assuming it's Windows if they're saying to update your graphics drivers. But what I have noticed when it comes to things like that, especially with not just ProPresenter, but Blackmagic stuff, OBS, anything on your computer screen, it is mainly because the USB management on Windows does some stuff that's kind of funky. So I'm here in the device manager. If you hit the start button and the key X, you'll go sew up a different menu, click on device manager. That's where we are right now. What I would suggest anybody on Windows to do, and actually, I'm sorry, y'all keep mentioning, and I keep forgetting to do this. So there's my highlighter there. So hopefully you can see it better. Come in here, go down to the universal serial bus controllers, and each one of these. And why is all of a sudden my mouse configuration just stopped? Anyway, come inside of here, and on each one of these, go into properties, and we want to see if you have power management. And I don't know why my highlighting tool is failing on me. This is what I got. Apply settings. Yes. I just changed over to a 4K monitor, so I'm having a few issues there. So hopefully, let's actually just increase our mouse size. Hopefully that would make it easier for y'all to see. That's humongous. Hold on. All right. So hopefully this will be easier. All right, so inside of here, go into each one of these devices. Mainly it's your hubs, but it's no harm in checking all of them. Go to properties, and if you see power management, you want to uncheck, allow the computer to turn off this device to save power. Windows will turn off your stuff when you don't need it to. If you've ever had audio issues in OBS, Zoom, or whatever, this is most likely the issue. Sometimes Windows does an update and turns this stuff back on. So I would say just be mindful of checking that. Make sure all of those are set to not allow that to happen, and then see if you still have that issue. If you don't, that was the problem. If you do have anything other than that, we might have to do a little bit deeper, but that doesn't make sense that a graphics would affect your audio. That doesn't make sense. I don't even know why that was even suggested, but that is what I've noticed when I've had audio issues going out. That's what I would check. Hope that helps. Simon here. Hey, AJ, have you tried the Speedify software to help strengthen your internet connection? No, I haven't. I heard about that, but I don't think that really improves anything, to be quite honest. Just from the way that works, if you have a bad connection at your house, and it's slow, and you have to go through a different platform to get faster internet, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I don't know how that actually works. It doesn't make sense to me, because if your connection is slow, for this to actually work, you have your ISP, that's what's connected to you, which is slow. And then all of a sudden, if you get routed to their service, if it's slow from your ISP and it's slow to go to their service, I don't know how that's going to really speed up anything. So I don't know. Like I said, I have never messed with this. So I don't
Meet
know.
Speedify, the only app that combines multiple internet sources into one bonded super connection to improve live streaming, video calling, gaming, web browsing, and everything else that you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I would have to look into this. The concept doesn't. I can understand bonding of services. That makes sense, but having to use your stuff to go somewhere else, I don't know. And then let me see what their a yearly plan. That's $90 a year, but combine multiple internet sources. But I'm wondering what are their internet sources though, and does this completely remove your ISP completely? I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Like I said, I would have to do some more research, but no, I have not. And thank you for that. I'll have to look into that because that I'm trying to wrap my mind around that to see. That doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. I have to look into that. So we got that. Page 2. Where were the videos this week? I was on vacation. So, and also when we were at Hershey Park, I tried to sneak not even sneak. I tried to take my camera in there and record some of the stuff, but they wouldn't let me do that. They're like, "Hey, this is not allowed," and I'm like, "Boo, boo." Um, so, like I said, it's like we had just a few videos. Where should I load these? Should I load these into? I think I'm gonna load these into ProPresenter. That would probably be the easiest way to see it. Um, Again, we didn't really get a chance to ride much of anything that I had a recording on. So if we go to number 2, let me cut back over here. So why was that? And it just froze on me. Oh no, that was actually the entire video. What else? We had. This is the tilt and whirl. We had me and the little one in a little whirly thing. That's pretty much the only videos I really got a chance to do. I mean, you didn't want to. Some people were kind of freaked out when I had my camera there. So when we were at the pool and all this other stuff like that, so I ain't mess with that. So it was mainly just time off. I did do some recording for the church, Word and Worship Church. I'm gonna do some videos about that. I really didn't record anything because that was on the way up there, but that is about it. All right, let's see. What Simon was saying, I've hired a live view, but looking for other options. I've like where are you trying to stream to? Maybe we can look in some ideas from that based off of where you're going to be running the stuff at. Monty, you got it right there. Vacation. What is that exactly? The real vacation I had was when I was in Mexico. I literally didn't do anything. That was really good. Ryan, if I didn't say, hey, from Barbados, hello. Kathy, here you go. See, Anthony, do it, Kathy. Mike, do it. Food channels are great. Coach, do it, Kathy. Francisco, you could do it. See, I'm telling you, Kathy. And then here she goes. Hey, y'all. Thanks for the encouragement. Hacking it up by Kathy coming soon. There it goes. SJ Productions. Good morning, sir. Hope all is well. I was asked to install 3 monitors along with a PC for presentation. I live in Trinidad. How do I go about giving an estimate for the job? Well, first, I've been meaning to do a video about this, and I think I will. I'm going to do some more videos. I'm going to do one in depth of just the back end of how I run my company from beginning to end and stuff like that. So hopefully that would give some tips and everything. Like, I don't try to keep my secrets from everybody like some other people, or put it behind a course that you got to pay for. I just want to help y'all out, because when I tried to do this, I bought some of these courses and it didn't help me with jack squat. So I'm still learning in the process. So hopefully I'll share with that. But when it comes to pricing, first off, just me. I don't mark my stuff up. So when you see whatever I recommend, it's the same price that I get from Amazon, B&H Photo, whoever my supplier is. I don't mark it up. That just shows transparency and honesty for me. So when somebody like this church that I'm getting ready to do, they wanted an A10 Mini Extreme. The A10 Mini Extreme cost $995. I charged them $995. Granted, it's a church. I don't want to go through all the taxes of stuff to have to document all that stuff. I don't charge the church tax. I just go ahead and just take that. That's just me. It makes it simple on my end. Now, what I normally do is get all the equipment, price it up. If you want to mark it up, say mark it up, but don't do it just astronomically crazy. Because, like, what would be the point of me selling an ATEM Mini Extreme that goes for $995 and say I'm charging $1,100 for it? Somebody just got to quickly look it up and they'll see, oh, you're price gouging me. You jumped the price up when I can get it for this amount. That is transparency. That's how I run my business. But I would say make up for whatever into your labor. Your labor, how much time it takes, all this other stuff. At this point, for me, being real transparent, for me, when I work, the amount of profit that I make based on how valuable my time is around $250 an hour. If you use any time with me, it's $250 an hour. That's me pulling cables. That's me doing everything like that. So, but if you're going to be a business owner, this is the one thing I learned. Employees are hourly based. Business owners are project based. Look at the total thing that you have to do. How much time is that gonna take, and charge for the product, not for the hour. That's one thing. Get out of that mindset. But anyway, look at all the total time it's going to take for you to do that. Calculate that up and be respectful of your time and price it accordingly. And then you lump that together, and that's what I charge. So that's just me. A very quick version of that being me. Cal L 08. During our live stream, every time I try to use any app or program, it buffers. We have never experienced this issue. What's your setup? Are you saying buffering just from the internet? Is it the computer that's slowing down? Give me a little bit more details. Mr. Clarence was saying he'll volunteer as a taste tester, Kathy. Anthony, I will attend the August 10th session. My church has an event for the ladies on the 13th. I'm catering. Sweet. Philip Paul, hello. Harvey, hey, good morning. Mitch Roy, hello. Back to Anthony, you're saying, how do we start live stream with a computer? Yes, you need a camera. Yes, you need a computer. If your camera doesn't have any type of Wi-Fi or anything like that, yes, you need a computer that's going to translate that video and converts it to the ones and zeros and send it to whatever platform, like you see what I'm doing right now. So like if I cut over to my shot, and actually let me take this out so you can see the whole setup we got here. If I can get the right camera, let's turn off tracking so we can zoom back. So this is my setup for you to see how I do everything that I do. So yeah, that's the whole setup. So this is my main system. I got my camera here. So yeah, I could have just started with one camera, but you need it to go into something that connect to Facebook, YouTube, whatever that you're using. Those are the extra books I told you about. Anyway, the video y'all haven't seen, this is the new 8600G. That is actually streaming to my website and Twitch. That is handling that right now. This is my main video editing system that you see right there. The computer that's right behind me, that's the one I was just showing you, that is going to Word and Worship Church. That is their presentation system. This light up thing over there, that is the ATEM, where all my cameras are connected to that. My audio is connected to that, and that can stream by itself. So you wouldn't need a computer for that, but you do need it to set it up. But the ATEM could do everything. But then I have my streaming PC over there. You can't see it. It's right there behind Mjolnir on the floor, right there. That is what's handling vMix and everything that y'all are seeing right now. That is my setup. Now, granted, this is overkill, mainly just because of my setup, and this is like my miniature media booth and all this other stuff that I do. But you need to get started with a camera. Again, it depends on the type of camera. Again, I need to know. Excuse me. I don't know. I must have had some breakfast got stuck, so I'm sorry for being nasty. But anyway, just caught me off guard. But anyway, I don't know what type of camera you got, but essentially you do need to have something like that in place so that that camera can be connected and translated to be encoded and goes to whatever platform that you got. So again, what type of camera you got, and then we can walk through all of that as well too. So I mean, you're saying basic streaming camera. What I need to know is like, what's the model? What's the name? Who provides it? Is it a camcorder? Is it a DSLR camera, like a photo camera? We need some way more details than that for me to be able to help you. Pete, hello, good morning. Back to engineering made easy. What will you recommend the church have? What will you recommend the church have an analog mixer? Should the media get audio interface or connect the audio from the mixer to the A10 mini mic input? I would just do it from the mic input. If you're going to the A10 mini, there's no real need to get an extra mixer, to be quite honest. Because if you have another mixer, all you're going to be able to do is control that volume, which you have a software control on the ATEM that already does that. So like, for example, if I cut over to mine, and you see how I'm controlling. I'm coming from my Rodecaster, which is my main mixer. In here, come on now. I'm trying to move it onto the screen. Over here, my audio is coming in right here. This is my mixer. If you had another analog mixer, all you're going to be having is a channel for your fader, the audio coming in from the mixer, and the audio out, which you already have here. Your audio in, which is mic 1, and the audio out, which is the master, what y'all are hearing. That's what the ATEM already has. There's no need to add another mixer when you already have a software-based one if you're going to go directly there. Personally, everywhere else I've gone, I don't even add another mixer. I just do another mix on your mixer, like your aux out or something like that, so it can be adjusted separately. And one mixer, as long as it supports separate mixes, is all you really need. Newton G. Good morning, AJ. Question. With the new ATEM 9.5 update, can you explain or show 2 examples of recording your presentation if your USB-C is used to connect to your MacBook? Well, I have my Mac over here. I don't have another cable to connect it here. That's the reason why I did it this way. But I actually did a recording with this. If you are using the USB-C out, and let me take this back. Which ATEM are you using? Because if you are using the ATEM Mini Pro and you have the USB set, show 2 examples of recording your presentation if your USB-C is used to connect to your Mac. Yeah, I need to know which ATEM you're using, because if you're using the ATEM Mini Pro and you're connecting, that only has one USB out, and that's connected to your Mac, you're not going to be able to record unless you're using another program like OBS or something to get the feed. That's the only way you're going to be able to record that way. If you have the ATEM Mini Extreme, one USB can be a connection, the other one can be recording, so you can do both functions on separate ports. I did that in another video, last week, showed that you could do that. But I need to know exactly which one you got to go through that. Back to Jeremy. Yes, Windows. We're running USB audio from our mixer. Yeah, I would check that setting, and I think that will probably be your issue right there. Jerika, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Any help solving the ATEM Mini line of switchers cache full issues as of yet? Yeah, the cache full issues when you get with the ATEM, that is either because your upload speed is not fast enough, the platform that you're connecting to is having an issue, or there's a network issue locally. Those are the three issues that you have a caching problem. Now, what I've done, there was an update because I was getting this on my ATEMs and my web presenter for a long time. Nothing really changed in the software. I think they may have made one fix a while ago. First, make sure you're on the latest version. And then every time when I would try and live stream, I make sure that I just copy my streaming key again. That gets rid of any issues of like, oh, I'm not connected right, because that's your caching. And for anybody who doesn't know, the ATEM, if it doesn't have a connection, if your connection drops at any point in time, it has a cache that is going to save your video and audio to. Hopefully, once the connection is restored, it will play out the cache and it will keep everybody caught up to what you had. Once that space is limited, once it gets full, it can't store that video anymore and it will stop your stream because it ran out of space. There was an issue a long time ago that a lot of people, not a long time ago, but a while ago, that the ATEM would just fill up for no reason. And I had that same issues with the web presenter that I had. What I did to get around that, at least to help, I tried a bunch of things, did updates that came back from Blackmagic. I have mine. I made a new streaming key to go to YouTube that I haven't used before. That's one thing that I did. For those who are network router savvy, I have my web presenter on the DMZ. In other words, it doesn't hit any firewalls. It just has raw access to the internet. That I did that to see if that was an issue. Maybe my network is too complex or something like that. Other thing it could be is you have too much traffic. If you have your Wi-Fi and everything opened at church and anybody can get onto it, it's not segmented. Somebody can, like at Antioch originally, before I knew the Unify stuff, we had Wi-Fi that was open, and it would be a couple of people that would live stream this service from their phone on our Wi-Fi, even though we were live streaming, and it just tanked our upload speed, which was only about 25 megabits up. It was using 20 to upload, and it just killed our live stream, and we would have caching issues and stuff like that. So what I did originally was kick them off the Wi-Fi, and then we didn't have any problem. When we got the Unify stuff, I segmented it so out of 100 gallons of water are coming into your church to represent 100 meg upload speed. Just use that. I segmented it using Unify stuff that the media ministry can use 90% of it. 10% was open to everybody else in the church. So even if they maxed it out, it would never hit our stuff. So it's a couple of things that I would probably check. The easiest thing is just make a new streaming key, make sure you got it there, so you know the stuff is clean. Secondly, make sure if you're on a shared network, you let everybody know when y'all are live streaming, no one else uses it. Segment it out so that they can never use it, and it can never cause an issue. And then the only other thing is just, those are the main two things. Honestly, that's what it is. And make sure your stuff is updated to the latest version. But we'll see. Other than that, let me know if you have any other problems other than that. Dean, hey, AJ, I wanted to ask about the Ubiquiti cameras, if any of them are like PTZ or auto moving. They do have PTZ ones. I am no time soon going to use any of them because their PTZ cameras are very, very, very pricey. Very pricey, to say the least. If you go over here to the Ubiquiti cameras, I do have a bunch of them that I use. Their PTZ one is a 4K one, and it is $1,800. It can go outside, and that's cool, but I think the frame rate is actually only like 30 frames a second. So that is no good for me. So it has a 22x zoom. Oh, it's actually max frame rate is 24 frames per second. No, that's for like security and stuff like that. All the other cameras I have used are pretty decent. They go up to like 24 frames a second. What's the one that has the most cameras I can do recently? I'll look at Gates home church there, actually see if anybody's there at the church right now. So these are the ones that we had. Most of these are bullet cameras. They work fine here. Or we go to Community Independent Methodist. Theirs are like the same thing as well too. Bunch of cameras that I need to make sure all of those are updated too. Yeah, they are. So I mean, those are the ones that I've used. They're just smart AI tracking, so they'll most of the ones I have now are 2K and they can punch in so it looks like they're moving, but they really don't. I don't use any of the moving ones. They're a little bit too pricey for me right now. I don't see a need for them. Engineering made easy. I may have to go back and see the rest of your comment. We don't want to break the bank to get audio to the media. Audio to the media. Yeah, if that's the case, use your existing board. All you just got to do is run a cable to it and make a sub mix, and that's the easiest thing to do. Back to Simon. He was saying, I'm using it for a venue that has got a reliable Wi-Fi link that hasn't got a reliable Wi-Fi link. What now, similar to when I did the graduation at Prince George, personally, what I would do, and I'm just being honest with you, I'm not in a place to do this yet, but what I would do is they have the Starlink mini router is going to be coming out pretty soon. And for me, this is a little bit high. I heard the mini one is going to come in at like 250. So you can have this as a roaming one, and you can take it wherever, and you just pay it the month whenever you use it. The idea for me is I would just get a long cable, put this outside, and as long as you got a clear sky, you got internet reliable to wherever you're at. That's me. Now, what I did at Prince George, I used the Air Nano stations, and I connected it to a reliable place and just beamed the internet to where I was. Those things can range up to 5 miles as long as they have clear line of sight. You could do something like that, or because like that venue, for it to have bad Wi-Fi, it has to have a plugged-in connection somewhere. That's what I've done on hotels when they said they only gave me Wi-Fi. I remember doing one for the Notary of Republic down in North Carolina, their conference. They only had Wi-Fi. I talked to the hotel managers. I fixed their networking issue, and they let me run a connection from their main network switch to where I was. Those venues, they have to have a network connection somewhere. I would see about that. Other than that, I would use one of these nano stations that are like $50 each and see if you can beam it to yourself somewhere and then run an Ethernet cable from that connection to where you're at to get you something reliable. All those other services, they're pricey, but then this stuff, you're talking about $100 and you can use them everywhere. I bought that thing about 4 years ago, and I've used it at multiple locations. Carpe Diem 21. Good morning, AJ. Whenever I load Easy Worship slide or presentation as an input into vMix, it causes my audio to clip and terminate the sound. So like a question you answered earlier, I would check the same thing, but if it goes into Easy Worship and it's choking, do it again, but then open up the task manager on your computer and see what is how is the system handling it? Is it like spiking or something like that? Because for it just to open up a presentation and it drops, that isn't, I don't know, that's strange. I would check the same USB settings, but that seems like something different, but there's no point in doing that. Thank you. I would check that later when I see it. Matthew for X. Good morning, AJ. With the new update, how can I connect my ATEM to my computer and still use the USB-C for the TV program? You cannot if you're using the ATEM Mini Pro. It's still 1-in-1. That update does not change that, unfortunately. Kenneth. Hey, what's up, AJ? Recently, I just purchased a PTZ controller from Amazon around $60 using the RS485, and for some reason, the PTZ camera, the Tonveo 10X zoom, is not responding. Is it plug and play? It all depends. Now I'm just being honest with you. I got one of those Tonveo cameras. You never saw the review because it just crapped out on me like crazy. I could never get it to a point where it was reliable to respond. I think I must have just got a bad one because I know Monty got the exact same one that he did a review and his worked fine. I tried multiple things and it just didn't work with mine. updates, nothing worked with mine. So typically when you're using that controller, the camera, you shouldn't have to make any changes except for assigning the ID to it. But if it's only one camera you're using, the ID should be by default one. Typically, now, is it a RS485 direct connection to the camera? Or is there an adapter or something like that? Let me know that and we'll circle back. Norm, how do you start a music file when you start the stream in OBS? How do we start one? Well, you could trigger it with a Stream Deck, or you send a command, a shortcut key. You could do that. I normally just have it, and you said for it to start. Let me make sure I get that again. How do you start a music file when you start the stream in OBS? Normally, I just make it as a scene, and I trigger it. So, for example, here in my OBS, and this big mouse pointer has got me thrown off sometimes. Here, so like if I go to the OBS bundle 3, and why are all of those missing? Hold on. All of my stuff is missing. Assets. And we're looking for countdowns. And can I just do it here? No. Hold on, folks. Sorry. That's application images. This is the new update. So if you ever see this, it's just trying to find where everything is. I need music. What else? Videos. Thought I did that. Oh, backgrounds. Excuse me. No. What in the world? Trying to find where the rest of my files are. Animated lower third cameras, music, videos. I went through all of those. Not animated lower thirds. We did backgrounds. We did countdowns. Backgrounds, images, videos. Oh, no, it's right there. I did videos right there. Why that not showing? Motivational. That's not it. That's strange. Anyway, so in here, so this music kicks off immediately just because I have it inside the scene. Now, you can set up if you have a Stream Deck, and they do have the mini one that's like only about like $50. Where'd it go? And it closed on me. Trying to open it and drag it over here. There it goes. So, see, you can set up a scene in here. So I use this button. If I go in here to OBS, and you could have a source, and you can start the playback of that source on and off here. So you have media source control. So if I bring it over here, see, I can have this stop, start, and play by a trigger. So if I link this to where I'm at right now, that is OBS scene, and say I want to start and stop the intro, which is here. So that's how I have it. So I have this button here, and if I press the button now, this should stop, which was the welcome and all this other stuff. I just press one button, and it starts again. Now, I could easily do that with the music as well, too. You just can't hear it, but that's the easiest way. But for me, I just have it in the scene. Once I go to the scene, it immediately starts. But if you wanted to do something different to be triggered, the Stream Deck or any of the other free options that are out there, mainly I like the Stream Deck, you could do that. Makes it real easy. Anthony, how can I create an embedded code to stream to A church website. Well, Anthony, where are you getting it from? Facebook, YouTube, all of them have it. So, like, for example, I can't show it on this screen right now, but like if I go here on the back end of what I'm doing, let me see. So depending on the website, normally on Facebook especially, and I'm gonna be cautious about this because every time I've done this on YouTube and showed this, I've gotten hit for some crazy reason that doesn't make sense. So I'm just gonna tell you, if you go inside of your video, and actually let me see if I can do it this way. I'm gonna come over here to me channel. So say I come over to this video right here, which again is like, that doesn't mean anything, folks. Please don't do that. If you come over here to share, you'll have an embed code right here. And the same thing goes for your live. You can copy this code, and that's the code that you would paste to put your video there. It's different for your live because normally if you're doing a live stream through YouTube, you'll see the back end that gives you that code. Facebook, it does the same thing. That's what you would do. Copy that, paste it inside of wherever on your website that allows embedded code. Like, for example, if I go back to mine, which is what the new system is streaming to, I did the same thing here. That's why when I cut over here, this is the embedded video that's live streaming what I'm doing that's going from a website. That's all you would do. It mainly depends on what platform you're using to stream to. All of them have it. Twitch, whatever platform you're streaming to, it gives you that functionality. You are welcome. That all depends on you, OBS or StreamYard. OBS is kind of like, I think it's user-friendly, but you need a computer to be able to run it. StreamYard kind of puts all the work on their side. OBS is free. StreamYard, you got to pay for. It all depends on you. Vaughn, good morning. We have our baptism pool in another part of our building. Any stationary cameras you can recommend for that purpose, and possibly our drum enclosure, not really wanting a full PTZ. Granted, it's going to cost a bit, but like the micro, once you set it, this will work. Or if you just, now, if you really want something dirt cheap, that's still good. I did a video on the Makos cameras. I've actually used those in similar situations for baptism cameras or like POV cameras that are very low cost. And you can get an HDMI or an SDI version. So like one like this is one that I've used. These were actually, the ones I used were all under $100, but they looks like they got some new ones here. But those are webcams. We're looking for ones that actually are HDMI. Here it goes. This is the SDI one that I used. So this one is the HDMI. Give it power, have a long fiber optic HDMI cable. You can have a quarter thread on there and just mount it. And then I would give you a static shot. And the things are tiny. And then the same one here works the same way, but it just has SDI out. You get power on that. That would be your shot. You set the framing, and there's no auto zoom or auto focus or nothing like that. This is one of those things you just set it in the area, and then you're good to go. And that is a very good alternative, less than $100 that will get you that. O'Neill, in your opinion, which is better to stream, OBS or A10 Mini Extreme? There's a caveat to me answering that question. I wouldn't say which one is better. When I say which is better, that translated to me is what is easier for people to do. The A10 Mini Extreme is super easy once you set it up because all you got to do is press one button on air, and that's it. And you don't have to do nothing else. OBS, it is simple, but then you also have updates to the software, updates to your computer, updates to your capture cards that could affect that. OBS will give you more functionality than the A10 Mini Extreme by itself, but the A10 Mini Extreme is completely super simple with you put the streaming key in there, you have an internet connection, you hit on air, that's it. There's nothing else needs to be done. So I think both of them are great. The A10 Mini Extreme for simplicity, OBS for more flexibility. But you also need a computer that can give you that as well too. Let's see. Back to Dean. Hey AJ, the Blackmagic camera app has competition now in the form of Final Cut camera app. I think you use multi-camera shoot with iPad. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't have Final Cut, but I'll look into that. Back to engineering made easy. And what cable do you recommend if you are to use the ATEM? What type of cable? Are you talking about video cable or audio cable? If you're talking about video cable, I personally like the DTech fiber optic HDMI cables. That's what I use to connect all of the stuff. That cable that you see right there, that is a DTech fiber optic HDMI cable, 75 foot. I have that on all of those. That works great. Lee Dunn, good morning. What is the best tracking PTZ for the price right now? It's kind of subjective. I would probably say the lowest one is the one that we installed down at Tabernacle of Faith. That was going for $800. The Famako that's over here, that one is going for $1,300. That's a 4K one as well too. The BZB gear back there, that's going for $1,400, and the PTZ optics, which is, I don't know why it's looking over there. If I pan it back over here, this one is a 1080p tracking camera, and that one goes for $1,000. So to be quite honest, if you really wanted to go with a 4K one, I would, if I was going to spend that amount of money, I would go with that one, because that's going to give you 4K and control AI tracking, and that one is literally $200 more than what PTZ Optics one is charging. That's only 1080p with tracking. That's just me personally. If you're going to put that amount of money into it, might as well get the 4K one if it's only going to be a $200 price difference. Kal-El, the internet speed is great, and updates for the ATEM and vMix are up to date. If I open Presenter with live stream, immediately goes yellow. Live stream immediately goes yellow. If I open anything on the taskbar, it goes yellow. That's crazy. I've never heard of that. That the audio goes. Yeah, I don't know. You got me stumped on that one. Has anybody got any ideas? Has anybody experienced any of that? I personally have not. So I'm kind of clueless on where to go. Yeah, like I was saying, if you have the A10 Mini Pro, that's only going to give you one out. It's not going to allow you to do both for there. You know who I am. Good morning. Looking to set up a full mobile case for my streaming equipment, ATEM Extreme output monitors, HDMI splitters, etc. Any thoughts? I'm trying to cut down my setup time. I was trying to do that. Like, I got some of the stuff here. Let me show you. So I mentioned I was going to do a new case, but then, like I said, money has gotten tight, so I got to be cautious about that. But this is the case setup that I already have that I'm going to be using. So these are my keystones for all of my HDMI inputs for my ATEM, my audio outs right there, my USB outs, and this is going to be inside of a 6U or an 8U case. I was going to spin that, but then I had a couple of projects that kind of took over, so any extra slush money kind of disappeared. Hopefully when I finish these projects, I'll be able to do that. But that's my setup that I'm going to go through. And I don't know, do I have... All right, I think I showed this, but this is the setup that I plan on doing with this. So like I said, if I go backwards, it's going to be an 8U case that's going to hold everything. I did talk about this. We're going to have 2 vents for intake and outtake to keep everything cool inside, a pull-out drawer for the mini computer, which is the Ryzen that I will have inside of here as well, keyboard and mouse. The A10 will be on another pull-out drawer right above it. Either I'm going to put this dual screen inside of here or a pull-out screen. and it's a $200 price difference for a bigger screen. But I don't know about that. I might just have portable screens that I just set up for that. And then that's what I got right now using the A10 Mini Extreme ISO and other things. That's my setup. That's what I'm thinking about building here in a little bit. Probably it'll be around like, maybe I'll buy it for my birthday if we do something like that. But that's what I'm thinking about. Back to engineering made easy. The church mixer has a stereo out and mono out. It does not have an aux. What cable would you recommend to take the stereo or mono out? Well, it depends on the connection. I mean, you're only going to have either a 1/4 inch RCA or XLR out. I would, which one is available. Well, actually, what board is it? What's the model? We'll look it up and go from there. Aaron, I wish they'd do an update for the ATEM 1ME Constellation AC that allowed changing the web out like they did with the Mini and Extreme. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been included, but guess not. Yes, I have multiple times, and a hub does work as long as the data is going in the same direction. So I can hook a hub up and hook it up to 2 drives. That will work. I can't hook it up to one going to a computer and then another one going to a drive. It will not work. Somebody asked me about that last week, and I tried it again. It does not work. Let's see. Let's go to page 1. Gabriel Day. How can I fix my video lag? It's like I'm talking, but my mouth isn't in sync. Need to know the specs of your computer. Most likely it sounds like your computer is not fast enough to keep the audio and video in sync. But what is your setup? That way we can guarantee exactly what it is. EMA16V3. VLANs are your friend. You can even restrict outbound bandwidth, so no matter how many people hammer the LAN, my ATEM's hums always just fine. Yeah, I did that as well too, which is another option too. Virtual local area networks for the people who want to know what VLAN means. Back to O'Neill. Any thoughts on how to wirelessly power HDMI transmitter? We have a HDR FX1000 that we'd love to move around with, but wireless HDMI transmitter needs to be plugged in. I would look at the Hollyland ones. Those are battery operated and should last for about 2 hours, and then you don't have to worry about them being plugged in. That's what I would suggest. Bryant West. Have you ever used the Famaco KC601 Pro? What do you think? I think I have, but let me see. The 601 Pro. Oh, is that the mixer? The small mixer? Let me see. Is that this? If that's the case, no, I have not used this. Yeah, that's the KC601 Pro. No, I have not. I'm surprised I haven't heard from them. Typically, they would normally send me some stuff to try this out. But no, I have not used this at all, so I can't really speak on that. But I'm wondering, how many inputs does it allow? I just want a picture of the back. There it goes. So 4 HDMI inputs, 1 multi-view out, 1 program out, USB-C out, Ethernet in, line audio out, 2 3.5 millimeter mic ins, a headphone out, 2 XLR inputs. Okay, they got the inputs going for there, but it looks like the same way. You still only got, well, no, and then you have 2 USB outs. So the USBs can be used for recording, but then the USB-C is going to be, I guess, a computer connection. Okay. That's good. I might reach out to them and see if they'll send me one to test out. That price is a little high in comparison. Plus, it has a screen on there, so that's cool. I mean, because what the OCGo Stream Deck is around $300. So for about $230 more, I'm wondering. Like, and I don't know, Does it support NDI as well too? I don't know. Really cool. I didn't even know that they had that, but thank you for letting me know. Let's see what is going on with that. Mike Jones. Hey AJ, what's the best way to stream to multiple platforms with a lot? Best way to stream to multiple platforms, I'm assuming without a lot of lagging, streaming directly to the site or software to platform. I use vMix. vMix, as long as you have the computer that can handle it and upload, that is my go-to. Or if you want it free and your computer is still fast enough and upload, you could use OBS and use the multiple RTMP output. That can do it as well too. I mean, that's a free option. Or Prism Live, which is what I'm using right now. That's streaming to Vimeo, Twitch, and I can stream to like 7 platforms on that because the system and my upload speed is fast enough. So plug in RTMP, multiple plug-in on OBS, Prism Live, which is still free, and that can stream up to, I think, to 7 platforms at the same time. And then vMix is the paid one, and then after that, StreamYard. Not StreamYard, Restream. That's how I think. And you're saying spiking. Again, that's wild. And this is where we're visiting. We were just talking about you, Zay Santiago. Hey, AJ from the Word and Worship Church. This is where we're going to be at tomorrow. So just to let you know, sir, I don't know if you saw it, but there's your system with your 3 deck link video outs that are going to be for the center digital wall, the 2 digital walls on the side, the stage display, and the other HDMI one at the top is going to be for the ATEM. I'm just waiting for the ATEM to get here, and we'll be on the road heading up your way tomorrow. Anthony wants to know, do you know the ID and port information for the AVCAN's camera? The ID is subjective. You can change that, but which port information are you looking for? Are you just talking about for Visca and those ports? Let me know, because most of those are standard, but I mean, I have access to one. I can pull you that. Also need to know which camera you got. G. Albert, hello from one of our teachers there. MA16V3 again. What inline power switch do you use for your ATEM mini stream? I don't. I have it going to a smart switch, so it just turned off the outlet itself. I'm aware of the power outlets, but since you've been on one for a while, I'd like to know. Actually, I gave that one away. It was a reviewer who actually made one and was selling them on eBay. I can't remember his name right now, but he sent me 2 of them. He was selling them on eBay. I ended up giving them to a couple of churches, and they've been using them for years and haven't had any issues. But me personally, I use a Casa switch that turns mine on and off remotely. That's what I use. Back to Anthony. It says his board is the AJaytheCEO V50 Lite, a good streaming camera. Actually, let me see what that is. V50. I really hope this is not the camera I think it is. All right, those are kind of like action cameras for from here. So that's almost similar to the action camera that I have, the Osmo, but the Osmo doesn't have video out. But like these cameras, I wouldn't say necessarily about these being good or bad. This is a good start, I would say. The only thing, I haven't personally used these. Now, these look like, the nicest way of saying this, it looks like it's a knockoff GoPro, which is nothing the matter with it if it does what it can do. But the issue is, and we're about ready to look at it. All right, so it does have HDMI out. But why are these? All right, first off, the port labeling is wrong. That's not USB. Is that micro USB? It threw me off because I was getting ready to say it looked like the HDMI was backwards. It looked like this was HDMI and that was USB micro, but I stand corrected. I mean, this will be fine, but that's going to give you, unless you get the remote. And again, I haven't personally used it, so I don't know. This isn't something that it only has an 8x, so this isn't something you're going to be setting really far away. This is going to be something that you literally set maybe in the front row, maybe 10 feet away from your subject. Again, I would personally, if you're going to do something like this, I would probably start with your smartphone first. And just there are different apps that you can actually connect to a computer to live stream. That would be a good start with this. My only issue is, like, a lot of these cameras got started to get on the craze of it gives you some of the stuff, but if it's ultimately going to be using for streaming, I personally would recommend something a little bit give you some more quality and more options than this. Like, you can go with a Sony Handycam, like a C200 or something like that, and not those rips out, and it's like almost like 70. About a new one is about $70 more than what that is, and this is actually going to give you long form and give you able to zoom in and all this other stuff. This you would need to run into a capture card or an ATEM or something like that to handle your stream. That's what I would recommend over one of those smaller cameras, because this will give you a way better zoom than that other one as well too. So again, I would say look at that $1,000 bundle, because the mini PC that I recommend, you could hook this up, and you can hook up with a $10 capture card. So the camera would plug into this. This plugs into the computer, and then the computer you point running OBS or whatever software that would stream. That's what I would recommend. You can get that mini computer for about $250, and that'll be very good. Philip Paul, is there any way to get notifications from the AJay Mini Pro or software that can get cache a live stream? No, not notifications. If you have it set on the multi-view, that's how you can see it. So like right now, if I go over here to mine, if I was streaming with the ATEM, I'm using a web presenter, so I do have some functionality here. That's what I keep looking over. There's my screen right there that would tell me if I was having any caching issues. It's the exact same logic that's ran with the ATEM. If I was streaming to the ATEM and you don't see it because I don't show it on here, if I had it up, I could have that notification here, but it can't send you notifications directly. And again, no notifications. Mike Jones, do you recommend a Video Ninja for a remote guest? Actually, I haven't used that, but I know Mike has recommended that, and a couple of other people. Vimix Call gives me lag. I would try that. Some other people have said they've used OBS Ninja, and they've been very, very happy with that. I personally have not. Mervyn Leroy. On AJ and Friends, have you seen the EOS webcam utility pro camera version 2? No, I have not. Last time I used that when it was still in beta, and that was years ago. It may be a way around the ATEM for startup streaming. Possible. Yeah. I mean, that was the whole reason when COVID hit, all these people they made that version to kind of do a hack on phone cameras so that they could be used as webcams. So it's good that it's actually out of beta and it's version 2, so that could probably work. Des W. Hey, AJ and family. I recently chatted with AJ a few weeks ago as I let him listen to our church audio mapping to Mixer as an issue. It's a PV Auroras. Does anyone have any can help? Yeah, I would say if you can't get that here, put it on the Facebook group as well too, and somebody able to help you with that as well too. William Overstreet. What brand of cameras do you recommend? Well, that depends. What type of cameras are you talking about? PTZs, studio cameras, DSLR cameras, action cameras? Help me with some specificity, and I can give you a name on that. In response to Dean's question, the only scenario a hub works is for external. Yeah, so you're saying the same thing. Thank you, sir. Now, mine did. My two SanDisk did show up using the hub. Back to engineering made easy. The mixer has XLR stereo out and TRS mono out, and the distance between the mixer and the ATEM is 5 meters. Hope the distance. No, it won't. Use the XLR out and just get extensions. That's the same way I'm getting ready to do for Jay Santiago. So Santiago, I don't know, Jay Santiago, I don't know if you ordered your cable, but I realized I actually have some of those cables here. This is actually an extra dual XLR that would go into the back of the board out to, and this looks like this is a 10-foot cable. Oh, that's probably the reason why it was wrong. It was a quarter-inch cable instead of a 3.5. So never mind. I do have an adapter that will switch this out. But this is what I would use. And if it's not long enough, you can always just add XLR extensions on here to get other ones. You don't want to go over 300, actually over 200 feet, I believe it is. It's either 100 or 200. But, I mean, for your distance, it'll be more than fine for that. Back to Aaron. I like the AVCAN's E20 camera. The support is awesome. I just reported an issue with their CMS software that when using a certain part of the software, it is in Chinese. They told me they would fix it. Yeah, I remember it was one part that they didn't update. I said the same thing. All right, Anthony was saying, it is for the AVCAN's NDI controller. Someone deleted it from the software. The ports. NDI doesn't have a port. Normally it runs on 80. Because, hold on. Let me see. Most of these are standard. They used to use, some companies would change their ports, and then I think they got pushed to actually make theirs universal. So when you're using Visca, and that is using, hold on, let me go to a different one. Because you have a port for Visca that's using TCP, or you have Visca over UDP. Those use different ports, and I want to make sure I don't tell you the wrong one. Device information. Come on now. I'm still looking over here to see if anybody showed up here at my door yet. All right, so when you're using Visca over TCP, the port is 5678. If you're using UDP, it's 1259. HTTP port by default is 80. And that's mainly it. There shouldn't be any other ones other than that. But if you know anything in particular, if you tell me, then I'll be able to find that out. Brother Art, hello, hello. Back to G. Albert. Just wondering, I don't have a physical ATEM TV HD at home. Can you use the ATEM's app to run simulations at home? No, you cannot. That literally is just a software interface, and it pulls everything directly from an ATEM that's on your network. So if you don't have it, like if I turn mine off, the ATEM would just be blank saying we don't have nothing to connect to. Back to engineering made easy. We use a laptop for our streaming, an i7 7th generation with U at the end of the processor name. It requires a lot of patience to get things done on it. What upgrade would you recommend? Honestly, move to an AMD Ryzen. That, again, I'm not an AMD fanboy, but it's just Intel was so slow because they didn't have any competition for so long, and then AMD just came out the woodwork and just blew them out the water. Like I said, that mini PC, don't sleep on that. A bunch of y'all ordered one. I saw from affiliate codes that a bunch of y'all got it. The people I've given that to, they have been very, very happy with it in its performance and what it can do. And for $250 to get a system that can handle your live stream, like right now, I'm running this stream on my other system here. And I'm going to zoom in and you can see. Let me get my head out the way. This has been streaming the entire time. And not my ear, AJ, we're getting over here. So if I come over here and look at the specs, that's been streaming the entire time, and I'm using 0.2 CPU off of that. That is the same performance that I have on the mini PC over here. And again, I'm in the way of this one. That would give you what you need. And again, for $250, I mean, you even if you get that and let it do nothing but your live stream, I think you would be happy with that as well. MA16V3, have you used the ATEM streaming bridge recently? Actually, I had the church that I set up, Spring Creek, called me about it yesterday. I heard the ATEM mini source stream requirement had been dropped, but haven't had anyone double check it. No, I have not. If they call me back, I'll look at their update and see. William Overstreet, the PTZ, the best that I've seen right now and the lowest price is kind of the same one Aaron said he's using, and this is the one that I recommend as well too, which is a part of the bundle that I do. That is the AVCans E20. That, and actually if I spell AVCans E20, and why is all it, oh, I had too many A's in there. This right here, sometimes you can get this for less than $400. Actually, here it is. The one that doesn't have NDI, you can get for $380, and that is a great camera. I've installed tons of these. It says 14. I've ordered it more than that, but I've installed tons of these. Very, very good camera. And that's actually included in when I go through the $1,000 bundle as well too for recommendations. No problem. Back to Streets of Destiny. I loaded OBS with multiple RTMP. However, I only see YouTube, not the Facebook option. You have to manually add them in there. You have to put in the streaming URL and the streaming key to do that. So let's open that up. So in here, you would add another one here. So you have to manually add that information in there. And then you can just call it whatever. So you'll be good to go. Is the Nikon D750 good for live streaming? No. I had the I can't remember the one I used to have. I think it was a D700 or something like that. And I mean, it was fine, but it did not last for 2 hours. It lasted about 30 minutes. I mean, again, DSLRs are not bad. It's just that they're not built for that long of a time of recording. You'd be lucky to get an hour with that, to be quite honest. Gucho Perez. Allen Heath SQ5, which is what we installed at TCF, was given to our church, and the sound guy isn't too familiar with it. The in-house sound is great, but the output is oversaturated when I listen to it through the ATEM Extreme. Any tips? I would look at how that output is set up. I'm going to be back up at TCF next weekend to actually go through some formal training with them, and we're going to be doing their sound as well too. What I set mine up is I didn't run any filters. All I did was say, this is a mix. It goes to these outs, and that's it. I don't add any special stuff to it. If you can, download the software. It makes it a little bit easier than going through the menu, and just see how that audio is sent. Is it post-fade, pre-fade, pre-EQ, whatever, and see how that is, because something must be on it to give you all that stuff. Yes, so in that same setup, I would go with that E20. You can go with a capture card like this, or if you're going to the ATEM Mini, yes, HDMI out straight into that. And then the ATEM Mini USB out to your computer works like a charm. Did YouTube do an update on the timestamp settings earlier? I used to put time to time in the timestamps, but now it does not come up. No, they didn't do an update. You just gotta make sure you start with 00:00, and you just don't repeat any times. It works fine. Anthony, the username and password for most of these cameras is admin in all lowercase letters and the IP address, but I need the port for the software. I never got that from a port standpoint. Let me know the model of the camera. Oh, never mind. I see a thing. You said you found it. Gotcha. Back to Gabriel Day. And I'm looking at the time. And this stuff was supposed to have been delivered by 11 o'clock. They lied. I want a refund for overnight delivery. It said it's supposed to be between here and 9 and 11. And it hasn't gotten here yet. And hold on. Let me make sure. Because I didn't hear the doorbell ring. I didn't hear nobody knock on it. Last time somebody has been to my front door was on the 14th. So, liars. Hold on one second. Ooh, excuse me. I knew that sneeze was coming out. Dana. Good morning. Do you recommend AV cams over PTZ optics? Honestly, it all depends. Most of the time, I recommend the AV cams mainly because price is an issue. But I've had other, like TCF, they wanted PTZ optics, so I got them that. I've used all of them. So, I mean, the average person would not notice the difference in between them. So most of the time when I recommend it, most of the time the church is looking for a price. So I go with the AV cams. I have not noticed anything significant in price. I mean, that's an SMT AV right here, PTZ optics right here, Famaco, BZB gear behind me, and then this is a Black Magic. If you can notice the difference between that, you're probably video editing. So that's how you would notice it. I notice some of the difference, but again, I'm always looking at pixels and stuff like that. The average person, and they're not going to notice the difference between those type. So I would say whichever one your budget is nicer to. Don't think just because you buy the more expensive one, it's just automatically going to give you better support. Now, I will say PTZ Optics, they have a team that that price is helping support that team that sits behind that. But again, the people at AV Cams have been very responsive to me and a bunch of other people that had issues. So I just leave it up to you. MA16V3, if the requirement has dropped, the streaming bridge supports native SRT, which means you can do remote guests with latency at a conversational level. Recent Raspberry Pi updates have broken the DIY bridge. Yeah, I've heard about that. I need to, not like I want to buy another one, but I might have to get one so I can have some more stuff in the shop to play with to answer some of these questions. Back to William Overstreet. I'll be running 5 of your recommended cameras. What controller, please? I would say this is the same one that I use, like that, because it gives me all the controls to get to it and other function. That is the AV Cans one. What model? Oh, no. Ah. Spilt my drink all up on here. And I put it over there intentionally so I wouldn't spill anything. Hold on one second. If you can see, I spilt stuff all up over here. They got stuff down there. So I'm like, oh no. Had to clean up so I don't have no stains right there. Always an adventure. But now that my cup is out of the way, this is, and it's not on the bottom. So I flipped it over for no reason. It's right there, the AV Joy IP by AV Cans. That's the one that I got. My phone just went off. Hold on 1 second, folks. If you haven't already, folks, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button. Yeah, that was just confirming the time I'm going to be at the church tomorrow. All right, let's see where we left off. Do you have a link for the $1,000 bundle for your service? For my service, I would go to ajhomes.com/consultations if you needed that. The bundle is, let me pull the video up because I think I did a list for all of that. Give me 1 second to pull that up for you. Where is it at? Okay, I didn't have the separate list, but let me see if I can make it public on Amazon so that you can see it. All right, so this is the, oh, wait a minute. I think I copied the wrong one. Yeah, the link is actually in the video. So let me copy the video, and if you go into the description, it's there. We post it there. Now making sure my audio is still fine. So there you go. All right. Gotcha. Alex, are you using the Prism Live to stream now? No, I'm not. I'm using the Blackmagic Web Presenter 4K to stream. Because when I try streaming on my Intel i5 and a GTX 1050, it registers my laptop as under spec. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running this one on here on the 8600G, which is a brand new system that it didn't even detect the graphics card because it was so new. That one is fine too. I think as long as you have everything being using the GTX for your encoding, you should be fine. Back to engineering made easy. What camera do you recommend for a 2-hour-long live stream? No PTZ, either a camcorder or mirrorless. Camcorder. We do that all day long. Again, if you have good lighting, you can go with that handy cam. You can get that. That's under $230. If you need to go higher than that, I would go with the HC V770 or the equivalent by Panasonic. That was the other camcorder that I use. If you want to go higher than that, you can go with the Canon Vixia line, whatever G series they're on now will be good. So wait a minute. So Gabriel said I missed your question. So saying I missed your question. I'm using OBS to restream and it causes the video to lag. I'm talking, but mouth isn't moving. OBS to restream. So I mean, that wouldn't be Restream that's doing that. That's OBS. So if your video and audio are out of sync, That means that the computer isn't fast enough to process both of those streams and keep them in sync to look for there. Because what you could do is just unplug it from Restream and just do a local recording. Record yourself talking and play it back. Is it out of sync there? Then it's because of OBS that's causing the issue. Garbage in, garbage out. So if it's sending out stuff out synced to Restream is not going to change the syncing of time at all. It just takes whatever is received and goes out that way. So that means OBS is not syncing your stuff together. So again, what are the specs of the system that you're using to do that? MA16V3, no, because he'd been wilding out recently. And I used to be a fan of Linus. No, nah. We're going to do our stuff with decency and order for our stuff. So this is, hey, AJ, it's RS485 Direct. You should be able to link it in the menu of the camera, tell it what ID it's using, and the joystick typically should say what camera it's talking to. Again, I don't know the joystick that you're using. If you include a link, I can at least look it up and see. You are welcome, and thank you very much. And I think we may have juiced our time a little bit. Again, folks, I know a bunch of y'all have added me, started supporting me on YouTube members. So I've been gone, so I've been able to add up all of this and put new people's names in here. So my apologies for that. But I want to give a big shout out to all of those who support me on Patreon and YouTube members. If you like what we do here, folks, you could continue to help us by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO or clicking the join button down below. And no matter what way you do it, folks, your contributions are helping us teach media ministries all over the world. So this isn't helping paying for the car, rent, or nothing like that. The money that y'all get goes to this equipment that some of y'all asked me to buy and check out. And then most of the time, not most of the time, the majority of the time, all the time, when it's tech that I don't need anymore, I always give it away to somebody else. Because, again, y'all see my layout here. I got more than enough stuff in here. So, you know, I ain't got enough room for everything. Most of the stuff is what I keep in place to run this stuff so I can answer y'all's questions. But once I'm done with it and I'm not using it, we give that stuff away to a ministry. But with that being said, please do not email me asking me to give to your church. That's a guaranteed way for me to block you. I don't do that. But we try and help as much as we possibly can. And that's it. So let me holler at a few folks that jumped on. Parker, hello. Capture it on camera, 212. Hello, hello. Hey, I am doing good. We're about ready to shut it down and pack up so we can head back up to New Jersey. And let me see. Last one from Reverend Leroy. There is a way of using the Canon EOS M80 using the camera utility to get streaming time over an hour. The challenge is getting in clear HDMI. Yeah, that's what some of the older cameras are. They don't see. That's what I was saying. Most of them weren't set for video because they don't give a clean HDMI out. You always have the menu. So the Canon app actually cropped that in so that it would ignore the text, but the text is still there. So that's kind of what the issue is. But I think that's about it, folks. I mean, thank y'all for y'all's patience. Be on the lookout for all of the conference. Really looking forward to that. Thank you for all the teachers. We're still looking for people to teach, folks. And it's not just technical. We need to help. This conference is to let everybody know the importance of media ministry, which isn't always technology. It's about, hey, you're a pastor. You're used to preaching for a congregation that you're shepherding over. When you're live streaming, people who watch your live stream are not a part of your flock that you're responsible for, but they might need to hear that word and how to actually communicate to them while you're still ministering and shepherding the people that you're over. That's important. That also talks to audio engineering, how to understand the anatomy of the parts of your live stream. What is the right equipment to use it? What technologies can you use to make it easier? How can you use social media? How to update your website? We go over all of that stuff, so it's not just technical. We need a lot more people to talk about the ministry aspect of it because it's a very convenient excuse to be like, oh, I'm not technical, so I leave it alone. And that's where the church has dropped the ball. They assume, since I don't know it, we don't need to be concerned about it. And then they get caught with their pants down, just like when COVID. Then all of a sudden, everybody need to know about capture cards and coders and stuff like that. So just be wise about that. Really recommend y'all go there. Like I said, teachers are still needed. We're going to have 2 conferences. We might have more sessions on August 10th, but don't miss out on July 13th. It's pretty much online. Once you register, if you miss it, you can always go back and watch the replays, because all the replays are going to be available on the website once that's done. And I'm trying to get back to my camera. There it goes. And I think that's about it. So if nobody's ever told you, folks, thank you for what you are doing in the body of Christ. There's a reason why you are interested in the stuff that you do, because I think we're all called for this right now. Just like some of us are called to be musicians, preachers, teachers, all this other stuff. Y'all are called for media, and don't ever let anybody downplay that. This is important. It is just as essential. The shieldmen and the swordsmen and the spearmen, all of them are just as important. The pastors, the musicians, the singers, the ushers, the media, ministry, volunteers are just as important. Don't let anybody tell you, because if you weren't there, something would be missing. You are unique, and your talents and gifts and abilities are needed in the body of Christ. If you weren't there, something would be missing. So thank you for all that you do. Appreciate it, folks. I will not be back in time for our roundtable, so no roundtable this Sunday. But there is going to be a roundtable at the end of the conference. If you've never been a part of that, you got that. That's it right there. So anyway, folks, I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. And we'll be seeing y'all in the next video, folks. Later.